This episode is sponsored by Electronic Arts.
Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested.
And it's Jeremy from Tested.
So recently EA came to us and asked us to design something for their upcoming EA Play event. It's coming up in June in LA. There's a big gathering of people there to celebrate their games, and they wanted us to make something for their Sims 4 game.
Oh, fun. I remember The Sims. I played The Sims.
Yep. In The Sims, the characters have this crystal-looking thing above their heads. It's called a Plumbob. It's something that you've seen from all the way back from The Sims 1, and it's typically green. And at a lot of conventions we go to, we've seen cosplayers and people wear their own Plumbobs that they've made.
Sometimes it's not even lit up, right? It's just an object up there, and you say, clearly that's a Sim. But sometimes they do go to the effort of lighting them up, but I've only seen a single color.
Right. And so they wanted to design a Plumbob that not only lit up, not only changed colors, but one that could change colors based on what you're thinking.
Oh, like a real Sim.
Kind of like in the game.
I love it.
Yeah, so you went ahead and designed a couple variations of one, and we have what we think is a working prototype.
Yes.
Let's go through the process of what you did to design it.
Well, the first step was to come up with the Plumbob itself, and this was just something I used visual references, and I made it in Tinkercad and basically hollowed it out. This was an original version, which I thought maybe we'd just throw an LED stick up in the center of it, but then I was thinking that's the refractions and everything, it's not right. We want a nice hollow object that we can emit light into that will just envelop the whole object, right? So I said, well, let's split it in half. And let's put the LEDs in the center and have them radiate outward so that we don't get dark ends to the thing, right? So that's the plan. That's what I ended up going with.
So that's a stand there. It's hollow. It's basically the same. You have this little mount on the inside. I also noticed, well, this looks like translucent resin. This looks like an FDM print.
That is an FDM print, yes. So that's your standard, what people think of as 3D printing hobbyists. That's typically what they're going to use. That's what I have at home. You made the suggestion to go with a resin print off of the Form 2, and thankfully we have one, and Sean Charlesworth took my model and printed it out for us.
And that's what we have here. Again, translucent resin, but the opacity is a little more even. So the light diffuses more evenly.
It looks much finer, and you don't get this infill effect, which is all this weird, shape that you see inside of the object.
So we have these two halves, and then there's a mount, and then the LED. Which light did you choose?
I went with NeoPixels, the maker's best friend. These are discs from Adafruit, and there's 7 on each disc. So we have one facing each direction on their own little shelf inside that clips on there. One facing up, one facing down, and they're so bright that the area around it still gets lit up.
Like I've worked with LED strips before. I've never seen them in like a circular format.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they're the same idea. One LED, they're in series. One leads to another, so since there's 14, I have to send 14 green signals and 14 red signals, and they do what you tell them.
And these are RGB?
They are, so they can be any color. In fact, every one can be a different color.
Right,
but we're going solid green and solid red. And that's kind of cool from a power standpoint because it means we're not using more than one of the sub-pixels inside of each LED.
Yes.
It's really pretty good on power. The battery pack that we're going to end up using, the USB battery pack, should make these last for, almost 8 hours.
Now, if we were to stop here, we could have a light up Plumbob, right? You can even have one that could be a color you want, green or red, but we wanted something that's programmable based on an input signal.
Yes, not a button,
but
brain waves.
So what electronics we have to make that happen?
Okay, well, let's start with, first of all, we have the Teensy. So this is what's going to actually tell it what color to be. This is another very friendly Arduino-like component. It's maybe like a $13 chip, but it has built-in support for NeoPixels, which want 5 volts. It's a 3-volt thing. It has a thing that makes that work.
Powers it, and it can send out the right signals for frequency, for color, brightness, everything.
Yes, and it's very friendly with NeoPixels, so that's why I chose that. And then to actually get the brain waves into the Teensy, did some research. People have hacked these onto Arduinos before. It turns out there's really one big company that makes chips for all kinds of people.
For reading your mind.
Exactly, for reading your mind.
Consumer.
For getting very, very light EEG data, right? So you've seen like the Star Wars Force toys where you think really hard and a ball will rise.
Yes.
They make the chip that's inside that. And this is one of their earlier products, and it's called the Mindwave. And there were people online who said, well, if you tap into these 2 points, you should be able to get serial data, which is basically like every second it sends a new packet of data that contains all of the data that you need from the brain stuff, in addition to what they have determined are attention levels and meditation levels.
That's a direct input. You can actually get that as an electrical signal, and
Yeah.
that's already processed data for their values.
It is literally a serial port.
Wow.
So you plug in there. I had to figure out what the baud rate was.
Yeah.
But once I figured that out, I was seeing the data come in, and I recognized it. I recognized it in hex. Like I realized, I felt like I was in the Matrix. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, there's 2 zeros followed by 2 zeros. That must mean something. Anyway, I read this and it wasn't right. Like the values were, like the structure was right, but the values were all weird.
All over the place.
Yeah, they were going up and down, and there was no sense to it all. And I figured it was because, well, it's because I was tapping into some very sensitive electronics with a big wire that was probably acting as an antenna. So rather than use this version of their headset, I tried the Bluetooth version, which is what they call the Mindwave Mobile, I believe. And this will connect wirelessly to any Bluetooth device. They want you to connect to your phone. They have apps you can download to, engage with the device and play mini games based on your thoughts.
And because that's a wireless digital signal,
Yeah.
you can tap into that as a receiver
Yeah.
and not interfere with anything going on with the reading.
Exactly. And I got the exact same data that I was looking at before, except it was organized and it was correct.
Well, how did you get that Bluetooth data? It's not like with Bluetooth devices, you can build your own receiver.
No. So that's the other end of this board that connects to the Teensy. This is just a Bluetooth receiver for Arduino type projects.
Oh.
So this acts as a receiver and transmitter, and getting these two to talk to each other is a hack. But there are people out there who thankfully walked me through it. You gotta basically telnet into this device and tell it the MAC address of your headset, and tell it to always connect to it on startup, and type in these cryptic commands.
Yeah.
But it worked. And
Very device specific.
it is very. So this is number 2. This has to connect to number 2. Like these will always be married.
But the signal you're getting in that is essentially what the smartphone app would be getting.
Exactly.
Getting numerical values.
Exact same data. And if I knew anything about reading EEG data,
Yeah.
I could probably tell you, what your brain power is and how smart are you. However, all I can do is tell you how much you're paying attention, because that's the attention level that I'm tapping into.
Okay.
So I figured I'd take that attention level, and once it crossed a certain threshold, we turn the LEDs to a different color.
Wow. Okay. So that board, that's that red board here.
Yep.
The green one is your Teensy.
Yeah.
That's your controller. They're connected with a
Oh,
board.
of course. I don't even think about this as a big deal anymore because it's so easy. But this is a little mini circuit board that I made that connects everything, so there aren't a bunch of exposed wires. Soldering it is a cinch.
So essentially, it's a breadboard, but in a PCB form factor.
It's a breadboard with all of my leads already connected. It's a tiny little circuit board that worked great. And just as I was about to send this off, I said, Norm, you don't want it to make sound or anything, do you? And you said,
ooh.
yeah, okay, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So we added a little speaker onto it. So now when you're wearing it, you can't see it, but you can hear it. So when it changes colors, you know.
Wow, it's amazing. Today you can design your own PCB, have it sent off, have it manufactured any quantity you want.
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks, have it back.
Yeah.
And it makes all your electronics that much more compact.
And it's not that expensive. This was maybe $6 a board. So yeah, it's definitely very reasonable. And it makes a lot of sense, especially when you're making 2, which is what you requested.
Yes. So the idea is that we can take the signal from this device. You can adjust the threshold for when you want a color to change. And it's all paired up. We plug it in, we're going to assemble it, and then see if we can get it to change color based on our focus and attention.
I can't wait. Let's do it.
Hello, Jeremy, fellow Sim.
Hello, Sim. Red Sim. Ooh!
Oh, we got Plumbobs, we got some color change. So I'm red, which means I'm miserable.
Yeah.
But we're getting signal. And you got green, which means you're actually getting not only signal, but you're actually paying attention.
Yeah, I have a high attention rating right now.
Whoa. Mine isn't changing color yet.
Am I still green?
Nope, it just went back to red.
That was a long green phase.
Oh, you went back to green?
Yeah.
This is awesome. So the idea is it can track how much attention you're putting out.
Yeah.
And the more focused you are, as long as you pass this benchmark, this milestone that you program in, it will change color, that threshold.
Yep.
So let's see if I can get to focus and change color. What do they recommend you do to
Well,
be more focused?
they recommend you do math in your head. Maybe you count to 20 very clearly, or you start doing powers of 2. How far can you get?
Yeah. 2, 4, 16, 256 times 256.
Well, just do times 2.
Oh,
do
2
2 times 2 times 2 times 2.
4,
Yep.
8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 10. No, 512, 1024, 2048. Am I paying attention?
Yeah.
Is it changing color?
You're doing great. You're doing great. Don't be discouraged by the lack of green in your life, Norm.
Maybe we can adjust it and change the threshold.
What's interesting is it hasn't lost signal. It would go black if there was no signal. So you are definitely not you're definitely not paying attention.
Well, it works. We're going to clean this up a little bit. I love that we got these Plumbobs working. We're going to bring these to EA Play and then put them on other people and have them play a little game of sorts and see how that goes.
Sounds good to me.
So we'll see them in LA. 81. 81 times 3 is 243. 243. 243 times 3 is math. Just isn't that difficult for me.
You know what?
Whoa! Maybe it's a lie detector.